Hello boys and girls, it's story time. Now, this week I said that all our stories were to do with the sound Now this book today doesn't have the sound in it, but it is set under the sea. It is The Little Mermaid. So let's see what's inside this book today, shall we? Here we go. I know you know this story. Once upon a time, there was a mermaid princess called Ariel. She was interested in humans. In those days, humans lived on land and mer people lived in the sea. Mer people had tails instead of legs to help them to swim. Ariel was always looking for things that had belonged to humans. And one day, instead of singing at a concert given by her father, King Triton, she was hunting through a wrecked ship. Triton was very cross. Ariel needs watching, he told his servant Sebastian, and you are just the crab to do it. So Sebastian's got to look after Ariel, make sure she doesn't get into any trouble. A fish called Flounder went everywhere with Ariel. One day, the shadow of a ship loomed over them, and they both went up to look at it. On board was Eric, a handsome prince who was having a birthday party with the crew and his dog Max. Just as the crew gave Eric a statue of himself, the sky grew stormy and the wind rose and the ship was wrecked. Everyone else was safe, but Eric nearly lost his life rescuing his dog from the doomed ship. Ariel rushed to help the young prince and took him ashore, and as she sang to him in her beautiful voice, he slowly came back to life and she fell in love with him. When Triton found out that Ariel was in love with a human, he was angry. So angry that he destroyed her collection of human things, even the statue of Eric that Flounder had saved from the wreck. Humans are savages, he told his daughter. Triton had one great enemy, Ursula the Sea Witch. She wanted to take over his kingdom of the sea, and when she heard about the family quarrel, she saw her chance. She would offer to help Ariel to become human and marry her prince. Sebastian was now friends with Ariel. He and Flounder warned her not to meet the evil Ursula, but she wouldn't listen. So they followed her, but Flotsam and Jetsam, the eels who worked for Ursula, soon stopped them. Uh-oh. The wicked sea witch made a bargain with Ariel. In exchange for Ariel's voice, the witch would give her legs, but only for 3 days. Do you understand? Asked Ursula. Eric must fall in love with you and kiss you before sunset on the 3rd day. Ariel was too happy to worry. Ursula told her again, if you fail, your tail will come back and you will be in my power forever. But Ariel just smiled. She was not going to fail. When Ariel set out to find her prince, Sebastian went with her. Another friend went too, Scuttle the seagull, who thought he knew all about humans, although he didn't. He said that humans used a fork to comb their hair. The moment Eric saw her, He knew Ariel was the maiden who had saved his life, even though she couldn't speak. He took her home to his palace, where the servants dressed her in fine clothes. Then he gave a great feast in her honour. The second day of the magic spell dawned. Eric took Ariel for a drive in a golden carriage to show her his kingdom. Sebastian went along in her pocket and Scuttle flew along overhead. They both tried all day to get Eric to kiss Ariel, but no luck. Later, as she danced the night away in Eric's arms, Ariel longed to tell him how happy she was, but sadly, she couldn't say a word, and he still didn't try to kiss her. He's a gentleman. But Ursula the Sea Witch was afraid that Ariel would succeed. She turned herself into a beautiful maiden with Ariel's voice. Her song drew Eric to her, and he fell under her wicked spell. He forgot all about Ariel. He told his servants, "Now I've found my true love. I'm going to marry her as quickly as possible before I lose her again." And nearby, Sebastian and Scuttle listened horrified. How could they stop this happening? Scuttle brought all his friends from the seashore to help. There were birds, sea lions, pelicans, and even lobsters. There were so many of them, and they made so much noise that the wedding couldn't go on. Max bit the bride, and suddenly the spell was broken. Ursula began to croak. Ariel got her voice back, and Eric at last knew that she was his true love. But too late, alas. The sun was setting. Ariel's legs turned into a tail, and the sea witch dragged her beneath the waves. Ursula cackled with glee. Ha ha ha! Now that she had Ariel, Triton would give her anything she wanted. She was right. "You can have my crown, my kingdom, and my trident," he cried. "Only give me back my beloved daughter." The sea witch took the trident eagerly, then turned Triton into a small, slimy creature wriggling on the seabed. And next she was going to destroy the mer people. Ariel was in despair. This was all her fault. But her friends helped her yet again. They all turned on the sea witch and attacked her. Someone else helped as well, Eric. He had come to look for Ariel in his new ship. Ursula hurriedly stirred up a whirlpool, but it was no use. She and her eels were crushed under the bows of Eric's ship. They would never cause trouble any more. The trident Ursula had been carrying sank to the seabed, and Triton touched it and became king again. Triton's kingdom beneath the waves was peaceful once more. Only the mermaid princess Ariel was unhappy. She sat day after day on a rock dreaming of Eric. At last her father said, "Well, if you love him so much, I suppose you must marry him." So saying, he turned Ariel into a human and gave her a splendid wedding. As Eric and his princess sailed away to live happily ever after, a rainbow suddenly appeared over the ship. It was one last gift from Triton, king of the sea. you enjoyed that book. I certainly did, and I'm sure you've seen the movie of Ariel who lived under the sea. Now then, we do have a sentence today, and it says, Ariel the mermaid lived under the sea. So if you can fill in the gaps, if you're grown up, can give you a choice of 2 words or 2 sounds so that you can fill in the gaps, then write your name, put your picture on the back. That will be wonderful. All right? Well, you have a wonderful day.